All right, we're going over our functions workouts for week 6. So a little bit of a change. Mondays, we're going to focus on still the upper body strength, but we're going to target just that bench press that we've been working on for the last 5 weeks. So the last 5 weeks of this cycle, we're just going to target that bench press. We're going to keep it simple. 5 sets of 5, building to a tough set by the end. So that means like that last set of 5 should feel like something that we only have maybe 1 or 2 reps left in the tank at most. So I'm going to even put that in there. Um, Reps in reserve. And we want to see a set completed every 2 minutes. So how I would treat this today is that I would build up and warm up to this. Once the timer starts, then we can kind of like gradually build up. You should be at somewhere that you have to still, it's like light to moderate on your first set, but it's not like the barbell or just like something very light. So you want to make sure all 5 sets are working sets for yourself, but you're gradually building up to a heavy set by the end. And this should be not 25 minutes, but we will be working on this for basically 10 minutes. We're doing a set every 2 minutes for 5 rounds. So upper body strength is the focus, and you guys have some data points from previous weeks, so you can look back at what you did last week with the bench press. You were doing 6 to 12 reps, so you should be able to go a little heavier for this. For the WOD, 5 rounds for reps, 1 minute of max feet assisted pull-ups. These are pull-ups with a box or plate underneath us that we can use our legs, and we're going to be pulling up in the vertical direction. So instead of horizontal, we're going to go in the vertical direction. We're getting as many reps as possible. I really want you to focus on feeling the back muscles engaging when you guys do this. You can use rings, you can use the bar, it's up to you, just as long as it's in the vertical direction. And then 1 minute of max calories spiked, and then we're gonna rest a minute. So we're gonna kind of start to include some of the rowing and some of the biking that we've been doing into some movements, some gymnastic movements, and kind of mixing that up a little bit on the back half of the cycle, so the last 5 weeks. So goal of this workout is to challenge the endurance today. You're going to challenge, I would say, the muscle endurance in the pulling muscles like the biceps and the lats in the assisted pull-up, and then for the calories, more of a cardio stimulus there. Going into Wednesday's workout, we got our joint motor control and accuracy work. So we're working on really the coordination and again, the accuracy of each of the movements. Knee circles and elbow circles are going to be the focus. More of these non-linear motions are going to get our brain stimulated in different ways. So when we're doing something that's kind of like very linear, straight forward and back, it's not really engaging much of our brain as much. It's not that challenging. And so when we start to engage these areas, we start to gain better control of them. And as we challenge different shapes, especially ones that are more circular in nature. So knee circles and elbow circles today, if you are struggling with just a circular motion, stick to that. But then if you do need to progress it, we go to figure eights. And we're going to challenge it in different ways today. It's really about like, can we keep it as accurate as possible? Maybe even introduce some bands into the mix or add some kind of disturbances to the movement so that you can really focus on making it as accurate as possible. So that's the focus in the beginning. And in a way, you're also working on mobilizing these joints too as well, gaining more control in those newer positions. And then our workout is going to be also like an interesting kind of, I'd say kind of there's control, accuracy, there's some balance in it. This one is for time. We got 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 of right side dumbbell snatches and left side lunges. So you're going to focus on that for this first part. So 10 of the right side dumbbell snatches and then 10 of left side lunges, then 8 and 8 all the way down to 2. When you're done, you're going to do the same thing, but just flip it. So left side dumbbell snatches and then right side lunges. So we're going to really kind of focus on one side at a time. You're going to challenge your core, your balance, your strength, a little bit of everything in this. And I would say with the dumbbell snatches, it might be a good chance to go a little heavier than what you're used to, as long as you're keeping good technique, good form, mechanics are down to as well. So good little workout, 12-minute cap. Challenge yourself in this one. See if you can get into that back half of the second part. So you're on the kind of like the 6s, 4s, almost finishing the workout there. But make sure you challenge yourself a little bit more than what you're used to in this, so that we can get that strength component too as well. Going into Thursday's workout, we got our mobility and body awareness. So this day is more about like knowing where these parts are in our body. We're going to work on the neck, so the cervical spine, just understanding kind of like how to move it in different directions. And then we're going to learn how to move the pelvis as well, and just gaining control and awareness of those areas are the focus. So we'll challenge it in different positions as you see fit. But if you're struggling with just doing it from a standard kind of position, like a standing position, just stick to that today. But the idea today is more body awareness. Yesterday was more about the accuracy of the movements. Today is more about like, hey, where is that part in my body? Can I move it individually than the rest of my body? Sometimes you see multiple joints work together and they don't work separately from one another. So then we see like coupling of movements. And then when we try to move more efficiently through exercises or just like even just general movements like walking or standing, we start to get stiffer or tighter because we've kind of correlated two movements to one another, and the joints don't move separately from one another. They're really reliant on each other. So we're trying to break that map and make sure we can move these areas separately from one another. So that's the focus of the first half. And then the workout should be good and primed to go, because we got those areas that are really involved with the midline, the center of our body, which are going to be involved in this workout. We got 15 minutes of rowing, jumping side taps, and kettlebell front squats. So with this one, I want you guys to emphasize the squat. Try to choose a weight that's challenging. That should be 5 reps, not 9 reps. And this kettlebell front squat should be the heavy kind of portion of this workout. The row and the jumping side taps are more about the cardio aspect of this one. So keep that in mind when you're targeting the degree of of what progressions you should be doing for each of these. Going into Saturday, our second last day of the week, lower body strength, kind of like the Monday. We're going to just focus on one movement, front squats. 5 sets of 5, building to a tough set. And remember, just kind of like Monday, we're going to 1 to 2 reps in reserve. If needed, with these ones, if you guys have any wrist issues, go with the cross grip and challenge yourself that way, or into kind of that Frankenstein style kind of front squat. If you're still having trouble with it, goblet squats are a great option too. But if you have the ability to do a front squat with a barbell, I encourage you guys to do that. Really good way to challenge yourself in a different way and start to build some strength. So a set every 2 minutes, just like Monday. And that's going to be for 5 rounds. So we're looking at about 10 minutes. We're going to work on this for the next 5 weeks. So gradually kind of challenge yourself week by week. By that last week, we should be at our heaviest set. So that's our Saturday. And then our workout to finish off, 21-15-9, kettlebell deadlifts and push-ups. This is a great combination of movements. It's going to work a lot on the backside of our body. So dual kettlebell deadlifts, we are going to do the sumo stance. So have the kettlebells in between. Choose a heavy weight today where you have to break these 21s up. I'd rather you do that than just try to spin through these 21s really fast. And we should have about a 10-minute time cap on this to make it a little more challenging. And then the push-ups, same idea, breaking them up. So go a little bit more challenging than what you're used to so that you can get a strength stimulus out of this. This is the focus of it. If you finish this in half the amount of time, so 5 minutes, this is going to be more of a cardio workout that you did or a sprint, and you're going to miss the point of strength. So make sure you challenge yourself enough. I'm looking at you have to do the 21s in 3 sets, and not because you're just going to break them for the sake of breaking them up in 3 sets. You have to kind of start taking breaks after doing 6 or 7 in a row, or 5 in a row, or 3 in a row. So just keep that in mind today. And then Sunday's workout, we got our team workout, 4 sets of 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. We got options here, dumbbell snatch, ring rows, and rowing here. This is meant to be done in teams of 2 or 3. So you go through the 10s, then the set of 8, then 6, then 4, then 2. And then when you're done, that's 1 round. So I'm going to actually write this as a round, 4 rounds, just so the lingo is a little more clear. So a round would be the 10s, the 8s, 6, 4s, 2s, and then you're going to rest 2 minutes before you go back and restart the 10s again. So this workout is a more of a cardiovascular workout, I would say. A little bit of strength involved with it, but we just want to be continuously moving in this. We got 30 minutes to chip away to get 4 rounds done with the 2-minute rounds after each round. Hope you guys enjoy this week, and we will see you in week 7. We're on the back half of this program, so we should be getting close to finishing the cycle and then starting something brand new in March there. So have a good one, guys, and we'll see you guys next week.